chair this terrorism subcommittee of the Judiciary Committee. And I had a hearing on Fort Detrick and on the security of our labs. And we are looking at new security arrangements for all our pathogens, which we need to do, and to characterize them in a much more selective way than we do currently. Unfortunately, you know, we almost put all the pathogens in the same category, even though there are just a few that are extremely dangerous and need to be treated with greater respect. By that I mean the people who handle it, background checks, regular assessments of the people's stability, all those things that you need to do for people who are handling anthrax-type pathogens. And there are not many labs in the country that do that type of work. There are more than you think, including at a lot of our universities. But so you need to have a much higher security clearance and background check, et cetera, than what we do today, including what's done at Fort Detrick. So we think that those recommendations are currently being implemented. We'll have some more hearings to make sure about it. I am very confident that at Fort Detrick the security issues are in place. At one time there was a question about certain pathogens being missing. That's all been clarified, and everything's accounted for. So I'm pretty confident about the security at Fort Detrick. I still want to make sure we have a nationwide shield that makes sense in regards to these labs, and we expect that that'll be we'll have some more public information about it. The other issue I was going to say is, you know, we have still the contamination issues at Fort Detrick that we're working on. Our delegation works very closely together, Senator Mikulski and Congressman Bartlett, on the Fort Detrick. It's a critically important facility for our nation. What Senator Mikulski and Congressman Bartlett and myself have insisted upon is complete transparency here. We are, and so far, I really do believe Fort Detrick is fully cooperating with us to make sure that we have full transparency. I don't know if we'll ever get the answer to that. There's open questions. There's no question about it. The FBI has pretty much closed the case. So I think a lot of us are not totally comfortable with how that was left, but I don't think there's anything active currently today that will change that, unless something develops, some new information becomes available. Instead, what we're doing.
It was very interesting. I mean, I get on the Department of Justice website, and it's lots of fun to sit there and read all this stuff.
Well, I have a personal connection here. You're invited to, I saw your facilities. Come visit mine in Washington. I'll take you to my second floor in my office, to the mailroom where the anthrax was opened. I have that suite. We have a little famous marker up there. I mean, so it's a, you know, this through, what happened there, of course, was unbelievable what impact it had on our country. And we lived through it in Congress, and I can't tell you the fear that went through the nation's capital when we were working there. So we obviously want to get to the answers there, and we're not happy. We're not satisfied that we have everything. But we've had several closed-door meetings on this. We've had a chance to talk to the FBI and talk to everything else. And I mean, I come out of those meetings still not satisfied that 100% it was him and no one else, et cetera, but we're not going to get any further. It's sort of like the Kennedy assassinations. There was a lot of questions that were never answered. I just don't think we're going to get the answers. I'm not sure what else we can ask. The FBI is convinced that he was the person, and they are not investing any resources. And even though we've asked them to do different things, every time we do, they just take the same information and mix it up a little bit more and give it back to us.
Well, yeah.
And the truth is, they don't have anything more to go on. And they really don't have anything more to go. Well, one thing was clear, what really had us upset, is no one took responsibility for why, assuming he was the guilty party, he had access, and there was a lot of bells that went off. Why didn't any of those bells cause a review or this or that? And nobody had an answer for that. That's why, again, the system has been changed. We now have different pathogen labs and different standards and different types of background checks.